All right, let's dive into a concept from theology that is genuinely going to stretch your brain. Today, we're unpacking a totally different way to look at time, not as some line we're all walking on, but as an entire landscape that's seen all at once. It's a big idea, so let's get into it. So first, let's just start with you. How do you experience time? Really think about it. For most of us, it kind of feels like a river, right? Always flowing in one direction, carrying us along. It's this constant forward-moving journey.
And yeah, for us as created beings, time is basically a one-way street. We've got the past, we can remember it, but we can't go back and change it. We have the present, this very moment, and then there's the future, which is always just around the corner, but we never quite know what it holds. It's just one thing after another, a straight line.
But, and this is a big but, what if that's just our perspective? The source material we're digging into today suggests a radically different view. Imagine if our timeline wasn't a road or walking on, but a map that's already completely drawn out, and you're looking down on the whole thing at once.
This whole idea is rooted in texts just like this one. It suggests a scale of perception so gigantic that our longest historical periods are just fleeting moments. 1,000 years, for us, is an eternity, but from this other perspective, it's like yesterday. And we're not just talking about time moving faster, we're talking about experiencing it in a completely different way.
This slide here breaks down that difference perfectly. While we live in a sequential flow, a story that feels like it's being written as we go, the divine perspective is described as a single, all-encompassing moment. The story isn't unfolding, it's a completed narrative. To really get a feel for this, let's look at a few moments on our timeline. So from our perspective, every story has a clear beginning. Here we've got an event from the very dawn of human history, the fall of man. Now jump forward thousands of years. We hit another huge moment in that same timeline, the crucifixion. For us, there is a massive, uncrossable ocean of time between these two events. And then you've got events that, for us, haven't even happened yet. They're still way out there in the distant future, like the final judgment. It's a point on our timeline that we're still moving towards. And here's the punchline. This brings it all together. From that eternal perspective, these 3 points, the ancient past, the historical past, and the distant future, they aren't sequential. They're not one after another. They are all happening simultaneously in one eternal now. The entire timeline is present all at once. Okay, so if the idea of timelessness was a bit of a stretch, this next concept takes it even further. We're about to shift from the nature of time to, well, the nature of reality itself. What does it actually mean for something to exist or not exist? From our point of view, this is pretty simple. Existence is what is. It's the stuff that's real, the things you can touch, the world around us. It's everything that's present in our time and space. So non-existence is just the opposite. It's what isn't. For us, the year 3000 doesn't exist yet. The world before creation didn't exist. It's a void. It's a pretty clean binary for us. Things either are or they aren't. Simple. But this is where the source text just shatters our simple binary. It proposes that from the divine perspective, both what exists and what does not exist are contained within God's being. Think about that. That means the potential for the year 3000 and the reality of the void before creation are both equally present. And that creates a huge logical puzzle for our minds, doesn't it? How can something that doesn't exist? The source pretty much acknowledges this is a concept that a created being, someone living inside of time and space, can't possibly wrap their head around completely. So if these two realities, our temporal world and the eternal one, are so fundamentally different, how could they possibly connect? Well, the source material offers an answer. It describes a kind of bridge between these two worlds. This slide here lays out how that connection is made. You've got the eternal realm on one side, completely outside our system of time and space. Then, on the other side, you've got our temporal realm, where we are. The bridge, according to this theology, is the sun, who actually enters our world of time. The infinite, essentially, becomes finite, so that it can connect with us in a way we can understand. Now, the really crucial point here is that this bridge is presented as an absolute necessity. The gap between a being who is timeless and beings who are trapped in time is described as being so enormous, so vast, that a direct encounter would just be, well, overwhelming, destructive even. So this bridge is the proposed way to connect the two realities without destroying our own.
Okay, so let's bring all these incredible ideas together. We've looked at our experience of time versus this eternal perspective. What does all of this really mean for how we see our own lives, our own place in this grand story? This slide just sums it all up beautifully. Where we see a story being written, one page at a time, the divine perspective sees the finished book, from cover to cover. It's like we're living inside a single frame of a movie, but the eternal view sees the entire film reel, all at once. We experience a beginning and an end. That other perspective, it simply is the beginning and the end. So let's do a quick recap of the big ideas we've covered. First, our linear experience of time isn't the only reality. Second, from God's perspective, all of history, past, present, and future, is happening in a single eternal now. Third, even our concepts of is and is not are held together in that reality. Fourth, Christ is presented as the bridge that connects that timeless realm with our world of time. And finally, our unfolding story, from that eternal view, is already complete. And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question to just chew on. If the story is already complete, if the book is already written, what does that mean for the chapter that we're living in right now? That's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this wild journey through time.